Hey, what's up YouTube? Troy here. And today on Battlefield 3, my thoughts, we're going to be talking about the medic class and the reviving system specifically to Battlefield 3. A side note, it is Christmas Eve. I hope everyone is having a very Merry Christmas. It is still about 8:20 in the morning my time. So if you bear with me here, it's a little early for me to be doing this narration, and I'm still drinking my first cup of coffee. But a little bit about this gameplay footage you're watching. This was two separate games where reviving became quite critical for both the opposing team that I was going against and the team that I was on. In one game, I'm defending on rush, and the other game, I'm attacking on rush. And since it is the waning days of 2012, we're fast approaching 2013, and Battlefield 4 is not that far away. I'm excited, definitely, but a lot of the talk on the internet has been about what changes will be made from Battlefield 3 going into Battlefield 4, and I know a lot of people came from Bad Company 2 before this game, and so they would like to see a return to the Bad Company 2 loadout and class system going into Battlefield 4 as a way to basically rebalance all the classes, and in particular balancing the Medic Assault class and basically nerfing them. A lot of people think that Medic Assault is overpowered. Mainly the ability to defib, revive your teammates is overpowered, and they'd like to see a slight nerf. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't think it's called for. I can understand the frustration. You mow down a couple of guys, some enemy medic comes in, shoots you, and then revives all the guys you killed, and basically invalidates all the work that you just put in. I can understand how frustrating that can be. But from the transition to Battlefield Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3, saw a lot of changes in the gameplay mechanics of the game. That basically it's an entirely different game, and you can't just go into Battlefield 4 and revert back to the Bad Company 2 class system. I just don't think it will work for a couple of reasons. Now, there are two big mechanics that were put into Battlefield 3 that do not exist in Bad Company 2 that I think would be of the most concern when going into Battlefield 4 with a Bad Company 2 loadout class setup. Those two game mechanics are the prone position and the introduction of the suppression game mechanic in Battlefield 3. Now, if you've ever played Bad Company 2, you know that when you got revived, there was no prone position in that game. So when you were revived on your feet with your primary weapon out. You were much less vulnerable than you were in Battlefield 3. So the medic train, res train as it's called, was actually a little bit harder to, a little bit easier, to pull off in Bad Company 2 than it is in Battlefield 3. In Battlefield 3, of course, you have the prone position. You're rezzed in the prone position. You're extremely vulnerable because while you're in the prone position, your health is only 20%. It's not until you get up that your health is regained to 100%, that you're able to switch to your primary weapon, throw grenades, move around, get to cover, reload, etc., etc. Prone position will definitely be something I could totally see staying in the Battlefield series, especially into Battlefield 4. I don't think they're going to eliminate the prone position. So in my opinion, by just adding prone, I think the medic class has been nerfed. Its ability to revive is still there. It's basically the same. That was not changed. But making the revivee, for the lack of a better word, more vulnerable has basically nerfed reviving, in my opinion. in the transition from Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3. The second game mechanic is suppression. We all know that DICE is very stubborn. Once they have a mechanic they like, they're pretty stubborn to take it out. They might change it through patches, but even then that takes quite some time. And in my opinion, I think we will definitely see the suppression game mechanic in Battlefield 4. I would like to see it removed entirely. In my personal opinion, I think it's one of the biggest reasons, besides the lack of spectator mode and battle recorder, it's one of the biggest reasons it wasn't picked up on a lot of the larger esports circuits, like Major League Gaming. The main reason is just not fair. As it stands right now, suppression does three things to the player that is suppressed, and that's it increases your vertical recoil significantly. It makes your screen go blurry, and the other thing that it does, probably the worst thing that it does, is it increases your random bullet spread, your random bullet deviations. Your bullets go in weird angles. It shouldn't be that way. And I think in a multiplayer, skill-based multiplayer first-person shooter, when two players go head-to-head, the winner should be determined by the person who has the superior aim, the superior recoil control, the superior reaction time, just the person with the better talent and better skill base to play this game. As it stands right now, that's not the case. Lag and latency aside, I understand those are an issue with any multiplayer game. Right now, suppression is the big game mechanic that basically throws randomness into the mix, and it should not be there, and it makes it unfair. Now, that being said, let's kind of devise a hypothetical situation. Let's say we go into Battlefield 4 and we keep a lot of the same game mechanics, such as the prone position and the suppression mechanic. We keep a lot of those in Battlefield 4, which I think they will be. But we revert back to the Bad Company 2 class system. Exactly how it was. We take the assault class, we take away its defibs, we take away its med pack, and we give it an ammo pack, just like in Bad Company 2. It still has the same assault rifles, the grenade launchers. And then we take the support class and turn that into a medic, just like in Bad Company 2. They still have LMGs as their primary, but instead of an ammo pack, they now have a health kit and defibs. There's two problems with that, and most of it's related to the suppression game mechanic. The first problem is now you have medics that have LMGs, and we've all seen the players that come around the corners hip firing their LMGs, and they have 100 to 200 round box magazine, so they can just lay on the gas with the gun, not let up, suppress multiple amounts of enemies, and basically add that element of randomness to the opposing team to where they can't really fight back. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right to give the support the defibs when they have LMGs and a suppression game mechanic to abuse. The other thing is now you have the assault class, which now has an ammo pack. One of the big problems with the assault class being the primary anti-infantry role is you never usually have enough ammo. Usually having to run around and beg people for ammo. That is one thing that would be solved in the Bad Company 2 loadout system, is that the assault players wouldn't have to basically beg support players for ammo anymore. But the downside is now they can basically throw an ammo pack down at a whim in any place, any position, pull out the M320 grenade launcher and just spam grenades all day long. An ammo pack, 320 grenade launcher, combined with the suppression mechanic, I think would just be grossly overpowered. And I don't think it would be fair to anybody, and it would present quite a problem. So that's why I'd like to see the class system be basically the same. That's not saying I don't want to see any changes to the class system come Battlefield 4. I would like to see the recon class buffed. I would like to see the support class buffed in certain ways. I want them to be in line, their effectiveness in line with both the engineer and assault class. The engineer and the assault class have their defined roles. Recon has always been kind of ambiguous. You have a lot of different thoughts and opinions on what a recon should do. It's pretty much a across-the-board consensus on what an assault or NG should do, and that's kill the enemy infantry, heal teammates, revive teammates for assault, and destroy and repair vehicles for the engineer class. Support has always been, is basically that, a support role. But they tend to bipod up, they tend to get tunnel vision, don't want to throw out ammo, and it actually makes themselves vulnerable. But I'd also like to see the recon buffed to have better anti-infantry and maybe a few some small anti-vehicle skills. I don't think the HE bolt on the crossbow, if you're a premium player or aftermath player, I don't think that's enough. C4 could be an option, but that's how I would change the classes. I personally think the reviving system and the medic class, the way it is now, works. I think we're definitely going to see a continuation of the suppression game mechanic in Battlefield 3 and the prone position, Battlefield 4, and the prone position in Battlefield 4 that going back to the backup B2 class system just would not work with those two game mechanics. But other than that, I'd like to hear what you guys think. How would you change the classes? What would you like to see different or the same in Battlefield 4? But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'm quite excited for the holidays. I hope every one of you has a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you all. Thanks always, guys.